Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are embarking on a round trip adventure across the Kingdom of Fife. With the weather on our side, there's no better time for a road trip. Along the way I'll be showing you 9 fantastic spots to pick up some outstanding indie craft beer. So sit back, relax and let's hit the road. Our first stop is along the coast to Elie.
We have arrived at the Ardross farm shop, voted Farm Shop of the Year, according to a banner we just drove past. So we're going to go inside, have a look at their craft beer selection, pick up a couple tins and then move on to the next spot.
The Ardross Farm Shop is an award-winning family-run business that has been operating now for over 20 years. Ran by a mother and her 3 daughters, you're greeted with a bounty of fresh vegetables from the second you step in the door. And it doesn't stop there, as their other produce covers everything from fresh beef, lamb and mutton to handmade ready meals and puddings, and you guessed it, craft beer. They stock a nice variety of ales covering several different areas, including locals, St Andrews, Dundee, to Loch and Blair Athol. On the bottom shelf they also had little 4-packs from the Edinburgh Beer Box Group. These featured IPAs and lagers from Barney's Beer, Pilot and Campervan Brewing. But what caught my attention most though was Rob's Lager, a beer that was produced last year in collaboration between the family and St Andrews Brewing Co. to celebrate the life of their late father, Rob. I was sold.
Not really. Although a big tray of Rocky Road.
Oh.
Jesus.
Our next stop is only 2 minutes along the road. I'm taking you to Bowhouse. Described as a food and drink hub, it connects local farmers and producers with consumers, and its key attraction is the market weekends, and that's what we're here for.
So next up is the Bowhouse market. Fortunately, we've come on a weekend where it isn't actually the market. It's next weekend. So if we just wait here long enough,
I first found out about Bowhouse markets back in late 2021. I went to their Christmas market and noticed they had stalls selling craft beer. I then realised this is just another gateway into sourcing craft beer locally. So I kept an eye on their monthly vendors to see which breweries came to town. This market has given me access to breweries such as Wasted Degrees, Aberdour, Loch, and of course their own on-site brewery, Futtle. You might remember them from my 2022 brewery tour video. I'll leave a link in the video description below. Market weekends are normally held on the second weekend of each month, except from January's. Come on, it's too cold. They host vendors providing the best local food and drink from across Scotland. It's free entry and opens from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, both Saturday and Sundays. The market is a great excuse to come along and buy lots of fancy food and drinks. Before I grabbed my beer, I checked out food vans in the street food area outside. Then I grabbed myself a loaf of bread from the artisan bakers and a cheeky Philly cheesesteak sausage roll before rolling up to the Aberdour table to see what they've got. Now the guy at the table was great and happy to explain to me what beers they brought and why. You'll notice the brewers attending these markets are always enthusiastic and excited to tell you about their beers and their brewery. I tried a couple of samples and walked away with 3 bottles as a little Father's Day treat to myself. Okay, now that we're done with the market, we get back in the car and drive 10 minutes along the coast, passing through Pittenweem and arriving in Anstruther to have a look at a very special shop.
Don't worry, that's not where we're going.
Welcome to the Aeble Cider Shop. Inside the store, they were celebrating their 4th birthday since opening up. This happens to be our first visit to Aeble. I've always followed them on Instagram and kept an eye on what stock they had. Now, the beer selection might look minimal, but the breweries they're stocking is very unique. They had 3 different styles of Simple Things fermentation, a couple of beers from their neighbours at Futtle, a Vault City, a Brewtoon, and the notable stubby brown bottles from Glasgow's Ducat Brewing were a delight to see. Leaving Anstruther without a fish supper does seem criminal, but that wasn't on our agenda for today. We drive 20 minutes north up the B9131 towards the town that is considered the home of golf and the nation's oldest university. Yes, we're heading to St Andrews.
Okay, so we've got here in St Andrews. It is a blowy, windy day, but we're here to have a look at the Taste of Scotland. This is a big old whisky shop, but last time I was here, they had a nice big beer fridge. So let's go have a look.
I was first introduced to the Taste of Scotland 5 years ago when I regularly visited St Andrews for work. This store is easily found as it's situated right on the corner of possibly the busiest street in St Andrews. Since my first visit, the sheer amount of beers has evaporated slightly. They used to stock Spey Valley, Keith Brewing, Broughton Ales, and this horrendous sounding beer called Snake Venom. Today though, I was happy to see that they have a very healthy selection of beers from the Cairngorms, a full range from Loch, and core range beers from local breweries St Andrews Brew & Co and Cool Brew in Guardbridge. The rest of the shop is exactly what you think it is. Wall-to-wall whiskies, wines, spirits, a plethora of miniatures, cigars, and good old tablet. Oh, and watch out for the rather dodgy fridge magnets. Now we have a 30-minute drive up north along the A914 towards the River Tay. But that ended up being a near 45-minute drive after one of my wheel trims popped off of the car as we were going through Guardbridge. Anyway, our next stop takes us to a cheese shop on the northeast coastal town of Newport-on-Tay.
Yes, we're going to go to Fig and Fromage. They used to be called Urban Grocery. I bought craft beer from there. And I'm sure as this is now a cheesemonger, they still sell craft beer. So let's go find out.
Visiting this store is a first for me, as you'll see in a second when I can't actually find the place. The Urban Grocery was situated in that yoga and Pilates space at the top of the hill. Fig is further down this hill. When going into the shop, I never realised there's also a cafe as well. I asked if they still sold craft beer and the person behind the till wasn't too sure and suggested we look in the back. And thankfully so, seeing a range of beers from Glen Spean was a very nice surprise. Amongst that, there was also some branded glasses and boxes from the likes of Fierce Beer and Aberdour Brewing. But the biggest surprise was this Moosehead Canadian Lager. I had to buy it. I'm always a sucker for beers I've never seen before. Anyway, I love the little messages on the fridge door telling us to be careful. Regards, Mr. and Mrs. Door. This place is an absolute lovely shop, great vibes, and a great selection of food and drink. I definitely need to come back and try their cafe. I wonder if they do cheese toasties. Once we were back in the car, we took off 20 minutes down the A92 towards an off-licence bottle shop in Cupar. On to our 6th stop now. We are at Luvians bottle shop in Cupar. So, hopefully they have a nice selection of beers. Every stop so far has had a nice different variety of beers. It's not always been the same brewers. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what we'll find.
Oh yeah, they do ice cream here.
And oh my god, I forgot how good the selection is at Luvians. This place has not changed. Normally, the only time I'm in Cupar is when I'm having to take my pets to the vet across the road. And after those visits, I have no money left for beer. But today, I could have blown my whole beer budget on this one store. The shelves are packed full of German beers, sour beers, and beers that I've never seen before. And of course, gluten-free. They really do have the lot. Look at the amount of Loch, Orkney. It's perfect for someone that has an interest in craft beer. And of course, there's the rest of the shop. Now, this is a Scottish off-licence. Long rooms covered in wine bottles, whiskies, and the option to even buy ice cream cones too. Even when we went to queue to pay at the till, we found even more beer. They were selling Trappist style beer gift sets with Delirium, Erdinger, and even a small Tempest brewing box. There's definitely something for everyone in this shop. Highly recommended. Right, our next stop is technically in Dunfermline, but in order for us to drive from Cupar to Dunfermline, we would pass through Kinross. And I couldn't go through Kinross without stopping to show you the wonderful Loch Larder.
Okay, stop 7, the Loch Larder now. I should have explained this already in the voiceover. Not technically Fife, you had to leave Fife to get here, but if you're doing the big round circle journey, we're going to end up back in Fife after leaving here. Plus, the selection of beers they have here is too good not to include into this video. So, let's go have a look.
We first visited this place last year on the search for hairy coos as part of a little day out on my birthday. We discovered this amazing building chock full of local produce, a bakery, cafe, deli, and of course a nice selection of Scottish beers. The first thing I noticed when we went inside was their low and no alcohol beers from Jump Ship and Days. But not today. Over on that far wall, we have several shelves packed full of beer from several independent breweries, including Wasted Degrees, St Andrews Brewing, Cromarty Brewing, and the 3 Lochs, Levens, Lomond, and Loch Ness. I've also got to show you this full range of beers from Glen Spean Brewing Co. And just as we're pulling out here, you'll get to see the Abernight beers from Abernight in Perthshire. They have this distinct tall bottles and are known for step mashing. Heck, even when I turned around, I found more beer. These little bottle shop gift sets seem ideal for Father's Day. Not sure who brews them, but still, I like the idea. We grabbed a couple of tins and a couple of cannolis because this is actually the first thing we've eaten today. We've been gunning it, trying to make as many stops as we can in one day. Okay, so we hit the road again, and you'll notice a more industrial side of Fife here as we fire down the M90 for 30 minutes until we arrive in the city of Dunfermline.
Okay, so we're now parked up in Dunfermline for the Caledonian craft beer merchant. This has been like the significant bottle shop. They've done a lot of things, from expanding their store last year into a bigger store, organising their own craft beer festival, you'll remember those videos from our channel, and expanding their own craft beer festival to Edinburgh in a big old collaboration with Vault City Brewing. So yeah, let's go grab some beers. So here we are, Caledonian Craft Beer Merchant, the CCBM. A few years ago it was this space here, which is now Scunnered Digital.
Quick correction, the Caledonian Craft Beer Merchant moved into the larger store in January 2025. Not last year. Silly stew. The CCBM was the first craft beer bottle shop that I was introduced to when I first discovered I was really getting into craft beer. The selection in this store is on par with some of the great bottle shops I've seen in Edinburgh. We've got fridges full of Scottish beers, German beers, and a goddamn fridge dedicated solely to Vault City Brewing. What is there not to love? Now we drive 20 minutes back across Dunfermline, heading south towards the scenic and historic little village known as Aberdour. And we're going to visit the boozy little shop known as the Drinks Cabinet.
This is going to be an interesting one because I've never been here before, so I can't say this video is the 10 greatest drinking spots blah blah blah, because I can't prove that this is a great spot yet, but seeing that some of the beers that they stock on their Facebook page, it should be a good contender. And yeah, come on, let's have a look.
I've never really had a reason to visit Aberdour before. That was until I started doing the research for this video, and then I became very excited to find out about the Drinks Cabinet. And here's the first thing I noticed when stepping in. This wall on the right side of the cabinet is bursting with beer. Shelves and fridges choked full of stock from the likes of Belfield, Pilot, Tempest, Salt Rock, Overtone, and Holy Goat, amongst others. The decor of this place is immaculate. It's old-fashioned, rustic, has loads of character, it has loads of big old chunky wooden shelves. And have a look at these Oktoberfest German beer crates. Everything is so photogenic in here. It's great vibes, as the kids would say. I got talking to Robert, who was running the shop that afternoon. He's a lovely guy, very conversational, and seemed steeped in knowledge about wine. I checked the shelves once again to grab a few beers that I hadn't tried, and every time I look back at these shelves, and I noticed something new. Whether it's Campervan Brewing, Schofferhofer, or several Trappist-style ales that they carried. They've managed to showcase a very large amount of beer and breweries with such a small space. This won't be my last visit to the Drinks Cabinet, but they did tease that there might be a move in their near future. Oh, and watch not trip on Amy Winestop on your way out. Alright, we're in the home stretch. We leave Aberdour and drive roughly 15 minutes towards the town famous for its linoleum. And for me, it's the home of ice hockey. Yes, our last stop is in Kirkcaldy.
On to our last stop now, the Krafty Fine Drinks of Kirkcaldy. This is a fun little shop that got turned into a tap room last year. And yeah, we've been there a few times for Vault City nights, Wasted Degrees, had a tasting organised by them. So yeah, it's another great little bottle shop that I can't wait to show you.
And at the time of recording this voiceover, we've just passed Krafty Fine Drink's 3rd birthday, which makes this stop actually the newest shop on the list. Krafty first opened in June 2022, but I don't think I visited until maybe December, and I fell in love with the cosy atmosphere and the nice variety of beers. They've got a good mixture of funky craft beers and some really decent German beers. And no, I can't pronounce the names. It was converted from a bottle shop to a tap room last August, with taps dedicated to the world's oldest brewery. Yes, you could get a Weissbier from Weiffischstaffen. Had a lot of fun pronouncing that. The tap room does look like a great way to spend an afternoon and or an evening. Brewery highlights from the shop include their selection of beers from Edinburgh's Other Worlds Brewing, some of the weird and wonderful intergalactic beers from Make in Southsea, and some of the awesome can art of Tartarus beers from Leeds. Anyway, it's time for me to take all these cans home and show them off.
Hello, welcome to the last part of this Big Fife beer vlog, where I've spent far too much money on craft beer, but I have supported sort of like 10 independent businesses, so is it really that bad? I have about 23 beers to show you, so let's get to it, and I'll show them off in order that I bought them. So, from the Ardross farm, Rob's Lager, had to. After seeing those posters and all that information about this beer, it would be silly not to pick it up. So, Ardross farm, Rob's Lager, I look forward to trying it. So when I started buying the beers for this video, I wanted to make sure I didn't buy more than one from the same brewery, just sort of like supporting lots of different breweries as I went along. It didn't happen in the end, but we did get a lot of new individual beers. So the second one, 71 Brewing from Dundee. This is their Mr. Brightside Seasonal Sour. Mr. Blue Sky, I apologise. 5.5%, hazy, crisp and sweet. Then we skip Bowhouse because I'm going there this weekend. So we now are at Aeble. I picked up the Simple Things Fermentation Hefeweizen Wise Up Classic Wheat Beer with Titantang hops. There's definitely no chance that I said that right. But again, nice cool can from Simple Things Fermentations in Glasgow. Remember this one? Ducat Brewing. These are the guys that we saw at the Grassmarket Craft Beer Festival. This is their Quebec Golden Ale. And I love it. Look, it's just a nice dinky little bottle. Absolutely perfect. I really look forward to trying this one out. Now, this was not in the Aeble video. We recorded everything that they had in the fridge. These were on the front counter, sort of in clearance. They were all reduced to £2 a can, and it is Brewtoon's Trawler Man, which is a hazy pale ale, 4.5%. Amazing can art. Brewtown do exceptional art on their cans. I'm a big fan of this, that and their nautical theme. Now, Taste of Scotland, we go to Cairngorm for Cairngorm Wildcat. Pure Scottish style. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see a smooth, deep amber coloured beer with a complex malt, fruit and hop flavour. Next up is a new one for me. It is Stomp from Cool Brew. This is another Fife brewery, I think just outside St Andrews. And yeah, Cool Brewing, gluten-free lager. Then from Fig and Fromage, I had to try this. This is so strange to see a Canadian moose lager. Moosehead Canadian lager. So yeah, I had to give this a little try. The other one from Fig and Fromage was a callback to our Leaf episode. Leaf juice from Camper Van Brewing. So at Luvians bottle shop in Cupar, we grabbed 3 beers. Our first one being Tempest Brewing Co.'s Session IPA Pale Armadillo. Gotta love this nice bright can wrap. And we had a little beer from Orkney. Orkney Brewing's Brodgard Orcadian beer. So Orcadian beer. And then Loch and Larder, we picked up a Glen Spean beer. I know these were in the Fig and Fromage video and I chose different beers because I knew I could find Glen Spean at the Loch and Larder. So this is the Glenfinnan Gold single malt. Now a collaboration I've seen online and I was pleased to see it here. It is a collaboration between Cold Town beer and Fierce beer. Ananas in Pyjamas. Funky bright can wrap. 6.5%. Think it'll be a good one. Then over to the Caledonian craft beer merchant, we go to Otherworld. And again, masters of an awesome can wrap. Balbine Hazy Pale. And yeah, this is where we jinx ourselves and go back to Camper Van Brewing. I grabbed the Mango Mimosa because remember that was our favourite from the Leaf video. And then a lager beer, a Helles beer. This was bought purely just to have on one of our Aeble live streams. We play Aeble on Friday nights normally. And try and grab like Trappist style beers, Oktoberfest style beers to drink along our playthrough. Then from the drinks cabinet, I grabbed my first Holy Goat. Look how badass this can wrap is. Bottle. And it's a lovely green bottle. It's something that you don't see a lot of other than that Canadian one. But look at it. How metal does that look? Blood Orange Crusher. So these guys make sour beers in Dundee. I'm hoping to go see them in person later this year. So yeah, it's a badass bottle. There's like a lot of life in the bottom over there. But yeah, I look forward to trying this sour. Wasted Degrees, of course, I couldn't let this one pass up. This is their new gold winner Quebec IPA. Definitely had it before, but I want to support the lads. So here we go, another Wasted Degree beer for the collection. Now we have Overtone. Give me some TDH IPA. Shout out to Jimbo and Ale and Audio. Another lovely little holiday beer from a Glasgow brewery. Now for Krafty Fine Drinks, a Tartarus beer. So this is a maple pecan hot chocolate stout. And look at the can. This looks like it should be spray painted on the side of a panel van. And again, another jinx. Yes, this was the beer that they were serving at Krafty, and of course with me driving I couldn't get a chance to sample it, so I had to get a tin to take away and try for myself. And look at the artwork with the Kelpie on it. Otherworld Brewing, highly recommended to anyone that enjoys craft beer. This is their West Coast IPA. Last but not least is a headstrong Belgian beer with a hint of tangerine, King Mule. I've just never heard of this before. It looked cool and I thought, aye, sod it, I'll grab it. 6th generation headstrong Belgian true craft brewery. And I mean, it looks like it's an intimidating drink, but I think for the percent, it's only 5.1. So I'm not going to get knocked on my arse with this one. Anyway, that is the 20 odd beers from the Fife beer vlog round trip I took at the beginning of May. I hope you've made it to the end of this video, and if you enjoy these type of videos, please leave a comment. Tell me, do I go to Dundee next? I think I might go to Dundee next. Get in the comments, tell me to go to Dundee. That lets me know that you've watched all the video and you want me to get off my arse and make some more. So, other than that, cheers!